talk to me. Let me in on your anniversary. Let me in on your bad day. Let me in on when you crushed a meeting and you feel really proud. But you don't get that instantaneously. You get that because you are asking them questions that they are not willing to answer at first.
What's up, Coffee Sometimers? Welcome to another episode of your favorite podcast, Coffee Sometimes, with me, Riley Westbrook, my co-founders / friends, Ross Walters and Ethan Rivers, and with special guests today, Lillabea Goins. Lillabea is a head coach at our Alpharetta location. She's one of our longest tenured employees, and she's magic. She's just a genuinely authentic, fun, spirited person who is just such an integral part of our team. Lillabea is so intentional about creating special moments with our guests, and that's why we have her here. She's going to talk about some crazy, awesome interactions she's had with guests in the past, whether that is a young girl, maybe one similar to her, or whether it's an older guy who's just a businessman, and how she can break down those walls and create moments that matter. We also touched on how different personalities can lead to some really cool things on a coffee team. We tasted some interesting coffee today from Chamberlain Coffee of Emma Chamberlain YouTuber fame. What we didn't do today was finish out Unreasonable Hospitality. So next week we will take home the book with chapter 20 and the epilogue. So make sure to read that and tune in. Been cool so far, so we're excited to see how it concludes. Want to let you guys know of a fun new coffee we have here. Every fall we do a blend called Hayride. This fall it is 65% of a washed Nicaragua coffee and 35% of a washed Kenya coffee. It just tastes like a warm hug in a cup, if you know what I'm saying. Notes of s'mores. We threw spooky stories as a note on there because cute. But Hayride is now available in our cafes and online. We're going to throw it on drip in the cafe in October. So if you get a chance to swing by one of our cafes, you'll be able to try it there. But you should definitely buy a box. It is a fantastic and fun coffee that really matches the vibe of the cooler season. But before we jump into the show, if you want to go ahead and like and subscribe if you're on YouTube, and if you are on a podcast platform, please just give us a 5-star review, whether it's Spotify or Apple Podcasts or whatever else you guys are listening on. You know, maybe even swing by our Instagram at Coffee Sometimes Pod and share one of our reels. We usually post 3 little short clips at some point throughout the week. These are ways that you can help this program grow and help us keep doing this, because it's one of our favorite things that we get to do throughout the week. I'm done rambling. Without further ado, here is our program with Lillabea Goins.
Do you want
Is this recording right now?
Yeah, so how it's gonna roll is we're so professional that it starts like it's edited together. So like it'll start with one of us recapping the show about what we talked about. And then it'll do an organic flow into this moment, the coffee time. Mm-hmm. And that's when we start attacking the coffee review segment. And for you and our listeners,
You just looked in the camera.
Why don't you review what we're looking for in a coffee?
What we're looking for?
Yeah, in our review segment.
Well, there's 6 criteria. Content, aesthetic, user experience.
You have it written down.
Yes, Lillabea.
It's only been 3 times.
The crunch, like crunching a coffee bean.
Oh.
The flavor, and then just overall enjoyability.
Wow.
Out of 50 points.
What about aesthetic of bag?
Yes.
That was the second criteria.
I love that. I didn't hear that one.
Yeah.
Yep.
So the main 2 things are the packaging and then the coffee, and then there's 3 criteria under each.
Nice.
And this isn't about. This probably doesn't affect our rating too much. It's not like for what it is we're rating it. Like we're not rating this for a store bought, like a grocery store coffee.
It's just coffee.
It's just coffee.
Objective.
Riley, how's it cooking over there, handsome?
It's going all right, man. Thank you.
Hey, why don't you go ahead and throw us that bago bean?
Yeah, let's see that Chamberlain coffee.
Unless you need it for your second shot.
Wait, we're rolling?
We're
live.
rolling right now.
Well, you said.
Ooh.
Garrett Wilson,
Okay.
hello,
gorgeous.
Yeah,
back
sorry,
in.
Garrett Wilson would be.
Oh no, but he caught it.
He would have caught it. Anybody see that game? Huh?
Oh, Monday night.
Monday Night
Jets,
Football?
Bills.
No way.
Oh,
Four snaps in. The
gosh.
Hall of Fame quarterback ruptures his Achilles. Backup comes in, wins the game.
Sad, but entertaining.
Moving on. After that brief moment of silence, sorry, Aaron.
Sorry, Aaron.
And sorry,
Sorry,
Salah.
Robert.
We talked about reviewing a coffee that we're not just sent. So I went to the grocery store and I bought a coffee. And the coffee we're reviewing today is
Hey, I actually need you to throw that back because I need some more.
Chamberlain Coffee. You ready for it?
I'm ready.
Really cute.
Thank you.
I'm
Yeah.
really glad that didn't hit the glassware.
Yeah, the Chemex and other accoutrements.
This dude's got hands though.
Yeah.
He's got sticky hands.
Just put it in his little radius.
Small radius.
Catch radius. Anyways, I am actually pumped. We got a look at those beans.
Whoa.
We got to look at these beans, and they were way darker than I thought they would be.
Yes, to be fair, this is the dark roast option.
It is?
Yeah, why don't you read the little content here?
Oh, it's the espresso blend. Okay. It's the Fancy Mouse espresso blend. It is 100% Arabica.
Check.
Tasting notes of dark roast, sweet caramel, and dark chocolate. And they also have a caffeine strength rating.
Caramel.
So
Well,
they're
Caffeine strength. Really.
As a chamber stand,
Ooh,
do you
Stan, I don't know.
does that name of the blend mean anything to you?
I was going to ask the same question.
I was actually hoping that something would ring a bell, but no, nothing's ringing a bell. I really appreciate the tiny little coffee cup and its tiny little paw, though.
That's a win.
And if you look at it, his whiskers look like a fancy little mustache, which I love.
Yeah, it's a 3-bean blend. What were those countries of origin over there?
Peru, Sumatra. Am I saying that right?
You
Papua
nailed it.
New Guinea.
So 2 Indonesian coffees and a South American coffee.
Yeah.
Sorry, I said Central America.
USDA organic. I
There it is.
appreciate that.
Yep.
Yes, I wanted to not get the dark roast, but the only options they had for whole bean were this. So
Okay. So she does have coffees that are lighter.
I would definitely say so. You know, I don't know how that affects the caffeine strength. This one has 5 beans.
5 out of 5.
I'm guessing 5 out of 5.
I don't understand that.
I think that's just a little marketing play because people are thinking about that at the grocery store.
Yeah.
Hit us up in the comments if you're thinking about that at the grocery store.
Caffeine strength.
But can they alter the caffeine strength, though? Like,
Um,
I don't understand that.
I know that there's a lot of myths and talk around, like, do darker coffees have more caffeine?
Right.
And I feel like there was this big, like, revelation 10 years ago. It's like, no, they don't have more caffeine. Like, just because something's darker doesn't, and it's stronger tasting, it has more caffeine. But it's like, no, that's not the case. It's actually light roasts that have more caffeine because they're roasted to a smaller degree, and so more of the, like, flavor of the coffee and the innate qualities, like the caffeine and all the, it's still present. But then
Amazing.
I think, like, the thing that I've heard more recently is it's kind of just a wash. Like, they're just the same. Because whether something is really dark or whether something is roasted really light, the darker beans weigh less, right? So they just literally weigh less in grams.
there's less material.
Yeah, and so if it all just kind of equals out to be the same. So
Could you funnel us?
yeah, we need that funnel. It's
Especially for this.
on the shelf. Yeah, or not. Sorry, Riley. I shouldn't have doubted you. I know it's been a while
On
since
the
you've been on
shelf.
bar.
Hey, thanks for your question about the caffeine strength. But it is interesting when, like, a Death Wish coffee claims to be, like, the world's strongest coffee. I'm sure you can, like, add caffeine in some weird
Genetically
ways.
modified
Yeah,
beans.
but hey, this is organic, so we know
It's
that's
just
not
like
happening.
with cheap wine, they add alcohol.
Whoa.
Mm-hmm.
So
at
you
times.
just pretend to like it more because you're more drunk.
I guess maybe
Gets the job done.
more
That's
drunk
funny.
and more full.
I
of
think
dyes.
placebo effect is pretty powerful, though. So if I think I'm drinking something more caffeinated, I
fine.
think I'm going to react more caffeinated.
That is legit.
So, like, kind of their marketing could be real because they're just making it real.
Dude, this is 40 grams of coffee.
It's 40 grams of coffee.
Okay, this is what I'm talking about. See how it's usually like this full, but now it's like all the way to the top just because the beans weigh less.
I was struggling with that with the portafilter.
So maybe like per capita, there's a good bit more percentage, like you're just using more coffee beans to achieve the same dose. And I don't believe, Riley, tune in on this, but I don't believe caffeine is lost in the roasting process.
It is once you get to levels like that. So it's probably a wash. If anything, there would be a little more caffeine. But it, like I said, it's a wash.
It's a wash. And is it a washed coffee? Sure.
Probably.
There's no way of knowing.
I want you guys to know that I've never seen, in the very few amount of videos I've seen of Emma, she never drinks hot coffee. So I feel like
It's all iced.
yeah, it's all iced.
I wonder, we don't really have a, do we cater to someone's preferences? Or do we
But
just,
I'm
we've
just
got a
wondering.
we got a script?
That's true.
What were you wondering?
It feels like maybe truly she's only tried it iced.
Hey,
So
I don't-
maybe she only like delegated, yeah, that tastes really good based on her ice preferences.
I don't mean to be so forward, but she may have not even tried all of her coffees.
Maybe.
I mean, someone else is roasting them,
Totally.
but
Bixby
she
Coffee
could be, yeah,
in LA.
she could be super involved. I'm not sure.
No. Who's
one,
to say?
One of my funny touches is that I was looking for a roast date on the bottom, but it has a Best By date of January 1st, 2025.
Oh, wow.
Whoa.
And I'm like, who picks that number? That's a long time away.
That is a very long time away.
You think it's nitro flushed?
I think a lot of people at grocery stores freeze their coffee, though. I don't know if that's real,
storage?
but people will keep it fresh. They'll buy it bulk and then keep it fresh in their freezer.
At home?
Yeah.
Well, the interesting thing to me is I like who's buying this coffee at the grocery store? You know, it's like
I know 3 people right off the top of my head.
it's got to be like 90% young people, like, and young meaning like under 27.
Probably.
know?
Unless a parent knows their kid would like it.
Well, I mean, I went to the grocery store, and this was the only like cute bag.
Mm-hmm.
There were no like,
Oh, you still got it.
Gorgeous.
dude, that is a
That
dark
art, dude,
cap.
it's funny. It is so dark.
Okay, we are now reaching the rating segment here. We've talked.
I really love this cup.
Isn't it beautiful? It's beautiful. It's from Crew.
Thank you, Crew.
One time I hit them up and I said, "Can we buy these wholesale?" And they didn't respond.
So you
I
had to
like
buy them now.
I sent their wholesale an email saying, "Can we buy these wholesale?"
We forgive you.
You could have
Crew.
emailed wrong. You know,
It could've
what
been
we
your
learned
fault.
about the coffee we had a few weeks ago. You know, if you don't order right, you don't get it. Guys, you want to jump straight to the review portion of this?
Let's get this review. So first up is packaging, the content of the bag. Did everybody get a chance to take a look at that? And we're rating the content out of 10, correct?
I will say there are even cuter bags.
Is it 5?
It's 5, 10, 10.
There's one with a lamb on it, and it's the cutest thing I've ever
Oh,
seen.
the white one.
That's really
Yeah,
cute.
it's nice.
So out of 5, we're going to all rate the content on the count of 3. One,
Content, not aesthetic.
Yeah, just the content.
Like the words.
Oh,
Yeah.
got it.
1
Out of 10?
out of 5.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. It'll all make sense because it's all out of 50 in total.
And there's 6 categories.
1, 2, 3, 4.
3.5.
Ooh, it
I
looks
love
like.
a good 0.5.
So was that around 3?
I think if you. So who said 4?
I said 4.
Well, she said 3.5, and we both said 3. So I think it would take it to 3.5.
Yeah.
3.5. Okay.
Their freaking website isn't on here.
You're a web
Really?
hound.
Yes.
You're a web
or
hound.
any social
No
media
contacts.
link. And I'm like,
information.
People know her name.
yeah.
What?
As big, she's not doing her own marketing. Let's be clear here.
She's got a team.
A team is doing that. So I'm like, how does a marketing team fail to put any amount of website or social media link on this?
They had to have done it on purpose.
I gave it a 3. I
Yes.
thought the caffeine strength thing was silly. And then I also think it's silly if you say tasting notes of dark roast.
That's a little silly.
Come on. And the Arabica thing is silly too. But maybe that's just what grocery stores
Hey, I
want.
didn't read the back. I think I'm bumping up my rating because I really appreciate that it talks about. Oh, also. Oh, I thought they were about to mention the website, but they didn't. They just say coffee tastes better when it's made responsibly and ethically. And it's just talking about how they're committed to only sharing the highest quality organic coffee that's been sustainably sourced. And then it mentions the word sip, slurp, and spill. It happens. That's really cute.
Okay, that's fine.
I think that
I think I'm back to 4.
Yeah, I just think the copy on the back is awesome.
I do too.
For what they're trying to do. Okay, aesthetic, just overall.
Of this
aesthetic,
specific bag, or can I base it off of other bags I've seen?
this bag.
Dang it.
Because the other bags are cool. I know what you're
It's going
saying.
to be a little lower.
Aesthetic, this one is out of 10. So out of 10 points, the aesthetic. 1, 2, 3, 7.
7.5.
I think we hit 7. What did
Yeah.
you say?
7.
And then you got 7.5. 3 7s and a 7.5.
Yeah.
All right.
Well,
right.
I said 6.5, right?
What-
Oh,
It's
there you go.
hard to not think about, like, I'm at a grocery store. I'm definitely grabbing this one over every other option if I don't know the names. 100%. No questions asked. I
Or
don't
if
even
it
have to
was next
read it.
Valor's box in Whole Foods.
Then I'd be biased and I'd probably buy Valor. But honestly, I get Valor all the
Thank
time,
you.
so I might try Chamberlain Coffee.
Well, hey, we'll get to the taste and see if you're in the same.
I'd probably
right.
look at the prices, decide which one I like.
User experience. So this speaks to, like, we already opened it, but once it's opened, how does the bag feel? Just overall, what is the experience using this product? This one is also out of 10, correct?
That's right. Does this touch
How does
like
it
the
feel?
coffee itself?
No. I mean, that's a funny question.
Because it's just the overall product.
Yeah,
of
because
user
we're still on
experience.
packaging for
Okay.
sure. But
Yeah.
it's like, have you ever gotten a coffee bag and you try to rip it and like the ripper just doesn't work,
Oh, okay.
or like the zipper doesn't work?
To be honest, I really only drink Valor or what people bring in.
We're honored. Thank you for saying that. But remember our old bags before we had the custom bags? Once we would
Yes.
grind them, we could never.
Yeah, we had to reseal them.
Yeah.
Totally.
So that was what kind of got us thinking.
All right, so
That's
UX out of 10. 1, 2, 3, 6.
Six.
I was going to say
Six.
7.
I didn't even say a
6.
number, guys. I'm sorry.
I
was
mean,
overwhelmed.
To Lillabea's point, this would probably be a nice coffee to have on your counter. Like it looks
Nice.
And the resealable thing is nice. I like. This is a little note. I think probably it's the same for most bags, but I like when it's on the back because this just looks untouched. It's just a nice visual, and you
That's
have
true.
the used goods on the backside.
Yeah.
She's got that money to have a custom bag for all of her coffees, too.
No label.
No label.
That's a
Oh
flex.
wow, yeah.
That's a big flex.
I
Well-
like that.
When you're probably just have 3 offerings and they all have names and not. Well, she's got even the countries of origin printed on the
Probably
bag.
because they never change.
Probably because they can just get coffees from there again.
What was our number for UX?
I said 7. What did you guys say?
I think it was like a 6.
Yeah.
And Lillabe passed.
It's just hard to rate. I can't. I'm putting it against only a few experiences I've had.
Yeah. All right, so next is the coffee itself in the bag. So now we have the crunch test.
Oh,
Everybody
God
grab a
bless.
bean. No, we got to do it. Do it for science. Let's hear those
For
crunches.
science. Dang,
Wow, punishing.
it's very dry.
Wow. So this is a great example of how when you roast the crap out of coffee, it becomes very brittle and highly soluble. So that basically just disintegrated in my mouth. And I'm going to wash it down with none other than Chamberlain Coffee.
Have you tasted the cappuccino yet?
No, I have not.
Cappuccino's not bad. Okay, so crunch out of 5. 1, 2. Wait, can we say 0 or is it 1? 1 through 5 or
We
is
can
it?
give 0 points.
Okay.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 0.
0.
I gave it a 1. I like to be a little different, and I'm sure there's a worse 0 out there.
Yeah. I haven't experienced it yet. But. Okay. Flavor. Has everybody got a chance to taste the 3 different? We've got an espresso.
Wait, can I just say something about the crunch?
Yeah.
My mom used to love Caribou coffee. I
Yeah.
loved their chocolate milk. And she used to buy the like chocolate covered beans from the grocery store and from Caribou in the little packages. And it honestly tastes a lot like that.
That makes
So it was
sense.
kind of nostalgic. And I kind of didn't hate it.
Nostalgia will take you a long way.
There's your 1 right.
My face didn't show that I loved it, but I didn't hate it. You know, I didn't
Yeah.
spit it out. I was kind of like, I remember this.
Yeah.
Reminds
So-
me of Dina. Love you, Dina.
We all got to admit the cappuccino is not bad.
It's not bad. It's not good.
It tastes like milk.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Which is weird because you would expect that espresso to really, really shine through.
Really pop off.
Okay. Flavor. This one is out of 10. So this is not speaking to how much you enjoy the coffee, but it's speaking to the quality of the flavor itself. There are certain flavors that are not preferable in coffee, and there's certain flavors that are preferable in coffee. So flavor out of 10. 1, 2, 3.
2.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was shaking my head because it.
Is that a
maybe
0,
2.
Lillabea?
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, let's go with 1.
Dang. I'm sorry, Emma. I love you, girl. But
Oh,
Pour one out for
respect
That's
to
rancid.
boss babe Emma, but
Yeah.
that's wild.
pour one out for real for Emma. Enjoyability out of 10. I think we've got a good grip on that.
Are we
So-
just like gauging everything we've tasted?
yeah,
Enjoyability.
yeah, just personal preference out of 10. 1, 2, 3.
1.
Oh. Out of 10,
So
I
what-
gave it a 5.
Okay, so
Is
one,
that-
I had a
one,
worse
one.
coffee yesterday. Way worse. I mean,
But you said you only drink Valor.
nope, not yesterday.
Yesterday was a different story.
Oh man.
We were on a health check.
Okay, I respect you not saying what it was.
Yeah, I'm not.
So 1115. Let's say 2. All right, for a grand total.
Dun, dun, dun. Math is power, man. You got this.
You think I can do it in my head? 10.5, 16.5, 17.5, 19.5 out of 50.
Wow.
It's
Higher
not
than
that
I
bad.
thought it would go.
That's
Yeah.
not that bad.
Well, it's just because the packaging is awesome.
The packaging
You know.
is awesome.
And it's going to
Yeah.
get people to buy the coffee. And when you think about, like, if I had purchased a bunch of different coffees at the grocery store, probably the inside would have been pretty
Similar.
across
Yep.
the board. So it's like,
It's true.
it's going to win.
Yeah.
Absolutely, the power of packaging.
And I'm going camping. There's only a Walmart. I'm getting Emma Chamberlain
This is at
coffee.
That's a
Walmart.
good
Yeah.
point.
I'm definitely doing that.
Good
like
point.
I'm in an Airbnb far out on a batch trip, 100%. I'm camping and we're by a fire, French pressing or something, 100%. And we wouldn't be complaining. We'd be loving our lives.
Yeah.
Looking at the packaging,
Like
by the fire.
taking aesthetic photos, tagging
Tagging.
Emma. look.
Can I ask you guys an ethical question?
Whoa.
I guess.
If it meant landing an account this huge, would you guys be willing to roast a coffee this dark?
Wow.
I was thinking about that a good bit.
And I just said it. I just came out and said it, dude.
Yeah, you
So
said
what's the answer?
Do you my hold up, and I don't want to I don't know how they're doing it, but I wonder if you can actually get good ethical coffee. I know that they said they're doing that, but when I think about the cost and the scale that they have to do this at,
Has to be a lot of coffee.
it's a lot. And going to those terminals like in Charleston and seeing all that coffee and seeing what kind of coffee goes to places, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, there's a gap. So if we were able to pull off like torching, a nice coffee, maybe.
I just don't enjoy making products that I don't enjoy.
Yeah.
But we do
I
it.
mean-
that's the crop top conversation.
Well, that's just that's not exactly the same. I mean, I just there are no certifications for their claim of ethical coffee on this bag.
Yeah.
that
I
is
was
for sure.
thinking The same thing.
So
But
I
we
think
don't have our fair trade sticker
That's right.
that's true. Yeah, there.
or organic.
I think it's very evident in our coffee that like it tastes expensive, whereas this does not. Like back to your point about if you were to just grab any bag off the shelf, they would in the grocery store, they'd probably all taste like this. But for me, it comes to like going back to our vision of matching the top 1% of coffee in the world with the top 1% of hospitality in the world. And that you have to answer that question in terms of, is that like, are we the top 1% of coffee in the grocery store in each of our sales channels? Do we, accomplish our vision? Or is it just truly like 1% of the world and there's no 1% coffee in the grocery store, so we stay out of it? I don't know. That's where my mind goes to.
I think I'm with you. I probably wouldn't be able to do it, but I don't know.
I don't think I would do it.
Yeah, because on the other side, you're like, you'd create a lot of jobs.
Yeah.
and that would be really cool.
Yeah.
So all you guys out there thinking about hitting us up to, roast 1 billion pounds of coffee, forget about it. Pass.
Not
It's got to be
happening.
on our terms.
Done. All right. Hey, this was awesome.
It was
Great
awesome.
review.
All right, guys. So as it's clearly obvious by this point, we're joined by none other than Lillabea, and I almost just called you Cochran.
I know. I
Yeah.
was
So
anticipating
locked. Hold
it.
your
I
tongue
know.
locked.
Uh-oh. Left
And
hand club.
Listen, she did request a standing ovation. So
Oh my gosh, you're going to out me like that? That meant everything to me, guys.
That literally was everything. Lillabea, thank you for joining us on the program.
Thank you, guys.
I know you're a longtime listener, second time guest on the show.
first ever, right?
No, remember
Second.
we did the.
Y'all had to cover roasting.
You
one
guys were
time.
roasting that day, and then
Oh my
Sam
gosh.
was sick.
yep, we were in.
It was the best
No,
day
no,
of
no. I'm
my
saying
life.
our first ever repeat guest.
Oh, come on.
Wow.
Get it?
Wow.
Must be doing something right.
Keep going, man.
I don't know the rest of the
Rock it.
song.
I
We're not
do,
gonna
but
sip
I'm
this
not going to
cappuccino.
sing it.
Oh gosh, are you gonna change your score now? You
We
going
love
back?
Emma
I
Chamberlain
just really
coffee.
want some coffee, and I don't want to drink
Yeah.
either of the
okay.
other things.
Yeah, I just got water. We talk a lot on this program. We talk a lot about our company,
do.
and we tell stories about our company. But we were just wanting to share with everyone out there the magic of what happens in a coffee shop, because it's not just us. Obviously, I know everybody thinks we just work behind the bar like every day. And every time you go in, it's always us. But there's a lot of people making it happen. And you've been here, what, 3 years?
Yeah, and some months.
And some months, and some days, and some hours. So this has been a pretty sizable slice of pie for your life. And you've brought the magic anywhere you've been, and you've been able to do that with Valor for 3 years. And not only do it yourself, but now lead people and create spaces for that magic, moments of delight, those above and beyond hospitality moments. And I think you and Ross are probably the two biggest champions of the narrative, like we can
Romanticize life.
come on. I know. I'm just like, let's talk like how to, like, what's the policy?
Oh,
What's
yeah.
the step-by-step SOP of how
Standard
to
operating
do something
procedure.
awesome. But I think nothing inspires more than a story, So we wanted to give you space to, warm the hearts of our listeners, to warm our hearts, and talk about how such a magical thing can also happen anywhere. We've talked about it before, but when you break down what Valor is, it's coffee machines, it's people, it's a room,
Disco ball.
a disco
that I
ball.
did ask for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you
You know,
guys
and
remember that,
you've
I
left your
asked
mark.
for that one.
And
A bathroom, a toilet.
True.
an office, a back room. All things that can be replicated, but the people are something special, and you can't
Yeah.
replicate that.
It's true.
And so there's going to be such unique and authentic stories and moments that come from that space. And I think what's cool about you is you've seen Valor go through COVID too.
Yeah.
And like you've seen
Long
it go.
live the days.
There is.
I loved the cart, and I liked
was
that I
awesome.
was tanning. I was multitasking. But everyone hated it, and I was like, I will go out there another 2 hours. I really.
Wow.
I mean, I can. It's countless the amount of times that we're working and you're like, I want to be outside.
Yeah.
Like I just want to go outside. So it's kind of a dream. You could work outside.
Yeah, it's true.
But yeah, I want you to tell us one of your favorite, like, this is crazy that this gets to be work right now stories of like, because there's so many stories around like I did such a good job or like the team did such a good job, but like, what we talk about and harp on so much in training is like we want to provide a space for someone to be able to be themselves in the most awesome way, and that's by like positively impacting and uplifting our guests.
Yeah.
And that's like can only go above and beyond when you're like living like your true expression, Whoa.
That's
Whoa.
good.
So, like, when was a time when you felt like Lillabea got to be all of you at work, and that got to bless a person and the work and the whole kit and caboodle?
Yeah.
What comes to mind?
Okay, I want to say, first of all, every story that is shared is not just my story. Like, it's so hard to remember exactly who was a part of every single moment, but it's like, it's a smoothie. Our hands are all, there's tons of ingredients. Someone took the order, and they set the stage, and then somebody kept running with the stage that was set, and then the other person put the cherry on top, and like, then we have crazy stories to tell. So shout out to everyone.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
What component of the smoothie would you be?
The
in, like,
banana.
Really?
Wow, so quick.
We got
Answer.
protein
It's in
powder.
every smoothie, and it makes it creamy and awesome.
There you go.
Gotta agree with you.
Protein powder, creatine, blueberries.
That's
I
crazy.
love blueberries.
Because you're sour.
Or coconut kefir. That's been my
Whoa.
secret ingredient to
I've never
smoothies
even
lately.
heard of that.
I'm
Okay.
sorry. Please.
Thanks for
Can
that. That
I
was good.
just start with the original story of Matcha Madness?
Yeah.
I want to say, first of all, as a preface, it was a normal day. It was an extremely normal day. It was a weekend. I remember it was either a Friday or Saturday because I was about to be off for my off days, Sunday, Monday. I also want to shout out Jonathan because he is the reason I believe that Valor is crazy, and he is a
he's
part
the goat
of
of
probably
crazy.
every story that I can think of. Well, at least in the original time, in this era, in Matcha Madness original times, it was two, because we've done 3 Matcha Madnesses, right?
Yeah. Sounds right.
Yeah, 3.
It was March. I have no idea anything about sports, so I was just like, it's Matcha Madness, not March Madness. And it was because everybody and their mother decided to order matcha. And it was back when, you're going to like this reference, when the wall was a dry erase board. Riley loved that board. I loved it, actually. It was great that we had Ariel because she was an illustrator, so she could actually do cool things with it. It wasn't like we were playing, I almost said we didn't play Hangman or Tic-Tac-Toe, but we definitely did that.
happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good
But you
guess in
can't
action.
blame us. I mean, there was construction going on in front of our walkway, so no one was coming in January, February of 2021. So we were literally doing 3 customer hours.
Yeah.
And
But then we
stayed
made
open.
games out of it, and we were like, if you can finish this Hangman, we'll give you a free drink. And people were shouting from across the room just for A, I think A. Okay, but back to Matcha Madness. It was March. I want to say it was 2021. And I'm just going to stick to that story. And I remember getting to the point where I was like, how many matchas have we sold this morning? This is kind of weird. And so we just started tallying it, and we looked it up on the Square app, and it was
we don't keep that locked for anybody wondering. It's for people to be able to see.
That's right.
our sales and stuff. Okay. But it was at least 40 matchas by the end of my shift, and that's not normal.
Especially in 2021.
Yeah.
Matcha was not as hot.
No, it wasn't as cool. People loved
Or hot.
It was iced. So.
Yeah, but so many people were getting it, and it's not like we were marketing it. I want to emphasize, we had no incentive. Pit Crew was not told, you will get a raise, you will get free matcha, Mizubo will sponsor us. There was no one behind the scenes giving anyone any pull. I was just like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. And everyone's building off of it. And then I was like, keep the tally going. But you never know if something's going to get erased by the end of the day. Because that was a part of our closing tasks at one point, was to erase the whiteboard. But no one erased
Erase
it
the
when I
wall.
came back on Tuesday.
It's called the whiteboard.
On Tuesday, the wall had still been growing, and there was so many tallies.
Oh my
So we just
gosh.
kept it going, and eventually we were like, we can make it to 1,000, but we had no incentive. Literally, there was nothing going on. But we would tell customers actively, very actively, hey, we want to get to 1,000 matchas. If you want to try matcha, and we'd start selling it. A lot of people, we have this thing called the People's Choice. It's iced oat milk lavender vanilla. You would love it.
Gosh, the people's
And it's
choice.
before the kegs, so it's before we had an oat matcha. You know, there was nothing to sell, but we were like, another matcha.
Yeah.
And everyone would just be like, yes. But it was just delight. Like, we just wanted to make working a game. Like, how can we work somewhere and feel like we're not even working? We'll make a game out of it. And there was, I just love that there was nothing to prove to anyone. But then by the last day of March, we were at 980, something like that. We were like, we gotta do it. So we started wondering, like, is it allowed if we start buying matchas? And we took it very seriously. We're like, no, it is not allowed if we start selling the matchas. So then I want you to know that the wall, sorry, not the whiteboard.
White wall.
The white wall has become like, it is just tallies at that point, at the bottom at least, where the slushies now live or have lived
So
for the
there's
summer.
tally marks.
All over
and there's
the wall.
1,000 tally marks.
So many, yes.
Do you have to count all of them?
Well, we got to
I
the
think there
point
was
where
like
you can, we stopped. Maybe there was tallies for the day and we would add to the big number,
Okay.
but there got like a large number and
Yeah.
we made it beautiful, in my eyes, beautiful, maybe tacky in others. Beauty's in the eye of the beholder. That's a lesson as well. But then by the end, that day, what the playlist became was not a playlist, which is against the rules, I realized. But we were just typing in like Eye of the Tiger. Basically, imagine what you played in Guitar Hero as a kid.
Oh, yeah.
That is what's being played. Anything with a good build and like something classic, something like a little rock, and you're just like, you feel like Rocky. You just feel like a winner. Yeah. So anytime someone would order, we got to the last 10, we allowed people to get behind the bar. Don't worry.
Looking over at him, I'm like, and we broke.
I haven't said anything so
I know,
far.
but I feel maybe possibly what you're feeling. But anyways, we let people get behind the bar and write their name. So I'm not going to shout out names. This is not a name. Rob is like 990. We're like, write your name on the wall, son. Like, you deserve this. And we were clapping, we were cheering. It was a very engaged process. I also get on the Instagram stories and I give Jonathan a portafilter and he's pretending like it's a microphone.
Was so funny.
It was,
funny.
Thank you. I remember it too. We need to put it on our highlights because it's so
Yeah.
worth it. But again, this is not an incentive. No one in their job is getting any more money than a normal day. We're actually very distracted, but still making it work. And we have a portafilter out, and I'm like, if I'm talking to Ethan, I'm like, Ethan Rivers, how does it feel? And Jonathan would be doing it. Like, how does it feel to be the 990th like March Madness or Matcha Madness winner? And you're not a winner of anything, but we're like engaging you and like, how does this feel? You're so close to the winning number, And then we just put the portafilter out, and what are people going to say? They're just customers. They're like, it feels amazing. And we would record them like Life is Good. We were playing Life is a Highway. Thanks for the Life is Good reference. Yes. And we were playing stuff like that. That's going on over and over again. The final countdown was playing over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Because we were like, someone has to win this. And then all that the person won was a free drink. There is not much going on here. But I remember we got a ladder out so that people could climb the ladder and draw more, we were letting them do their signatures on the 998th. And finally, we get to the 99th. And we were also being kind of serious because there were no real rules. But people were like, am I allowed to buy another one? Like, I was the 92nd. But like, am I allowed to be the 1,000th? And we'd be like, that's up to you, honestly. Like,
You're like, get out of here.
No, we were like, there are no rules, but just like, if you feel okay with that, like,
You can sleep at night.
you can sleep. No, really. But we were just so into it. And lo and behold, the person who wins is someone who only trained for 1 week and then decided that his commute was too far. And he won all of Matcha Madness.
Oh my
It was
goodness.
raining outside. And so then Sam Thomas and Elijah, they just lose it. Like the pure adrenaline of the day has been climbing and climbing. And their natural response was just to run outside in the rain. And I'm talking like twerking. They're just they're like doing the worm on wet pavement with cars they are in the road, not on the sidewalk. And then they run back in. Everyone in the cafe, we're like, yes, we have the megaphone out the whole day as well.
Of course,
we're announcing this very loudly. And you know how the megaphone has the feature of like just sirens? The final countdown is going. But there was I can't emphasize, like no one really won anything. Like we didn't win anything. The winner didn't really win anything. They got a free, it was like a free hot whole milk matcha. Like it wasn't amazing.
No flavor.
I don't remember, probably a flavor. But all we did was like give it to the winner in a fun way. I don't remember there being like sprinkles or candles. That's been in the more recent days of Valor.
Yeah.
But it was just like, how can we make this fun and just make memories while we're behind bar? Why would you not? I just say this to any new hire, but like you guys, I've heard you guys mention like, why would we not want to make Valor the best place to work ever, period? Why? Actually, just why? Ask yourself that. Like, and it has to do with just, I think it really starts with ownership and management, but also I think there's just like the invitation and the statement of like, you have permission to have fun while you're working.
Yeah.
We don't expect you to be like, I mean, you want us to understand coffee and to know like tasting notes and what every color insinuates when someone's trying to buy something for their home Breville or whatever.
There you go.
I don't know. But also, like, we have permission to just make memories and be best friends. And, like, that's also, I think that you can have moments of delight that become a month of delight. Like, it was the highlight of every shift. Was like, and there was a real stress. I'm not going to lie. Like, we didn't do well this weekend on selling the matchas.
Have a meeting in the back, like, all right, cut the crap,
But
guys.
it's
We
like
gotta sell
no
more matchas.
management. It's all pit crew. Very like baseline employees.
You haven't been pulling your weight. You haven't been pushing matcha.
I do remember when that whole portafilter bit, the news anchor was happening.
Yes.
None of us were there.
Yeah, I know.
And I think we were maybe together, or like a few of us were together, or a couple of us. We were like, did you guys see what's happening at our cafe right now? Like,
I just had
without us.
Yeah.
And I just actually remember being so proud that was happening.
Yeah. Just when I had the login to the Instagram. If we had time, we would just do random things and be like, this could go on the Instagram.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Speaking of the login to the Instagram, I did see your Basecamp message, and the password is beep, 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 beep.
Beep, boop, boop.
Yeah, I'll cover that in post.
I want to highlight a couple things that you said. First of all, it's crazy that the first year was 1,000 because I think the next year we did 2,000 matchas in the month of March.
Something like that. That's crazy.
If I'm not mistaken. Does that sound right?
So now we're doing 4,000.
I collectively should be. And we have we've brought Mazuba in on a little bit of the fun, but this upcoming March will have to be the greatest matcha madness
And there's
of all
bigger
time.
winners, and you got that cool
there's
counter.
some big winners.
It's like the robot counter.
Oh, yeah.
We would let people click it, which really wasn't up for them. They
Oh,
were
yeah.
like, "What is this?" Yeah, and the emoticon of the little steaming green mug is perfect.
Yeah. So there's that, but to highlight, you said like making work a game is fun, and I can't agree more. And I see that happen with things like Matcha Madness. Something that comes to mind here at HQ is that Zion and Blake will always time themselves on how many boxes they can do per minute.
They take it seriously.
They take it really seriously.
They crush it.
And then things get done way faster because they're timing themselves. And then we
And they're having
have
more fun.
we've created these Polaroid like trading cards over there for the golden fill. It's whenever
Yes.
you
yeah.
perfectly fill a 5-pound bag of coffee, you like scoop it out and you weigh it and it's spot on.
First try.
There's only been 3 so far
In Valor history.
in Valor history, but a different person each time. So that's kind of cool.
It's beautiful.
Wow.
The Trinity
But
of the
then
golden
there's
fill.
like, but that's just for free throw. So that's like the free throw golden fill trading card.
Oh, if you
But like if it ever happens with like Worka Sakaro, a first edition Worka Sakaro would be like That would
like
be
premium,
an expensive
rare.
resale card.
Yeah.
Because free throw, it's like you're scooping out tons of free throw.
You're
every
calibrated
day.
on how much that weighs.
But
yeah.
if you can just like bang out a Work of Sacaro golden fill,
yeah, that thing's going for 3,
Next
4,
level.
You got to
5.
cut that line. If you
6.
can bang out
Going
a
on the
Work of Sacaro
gravestone.
golden fill,
Gravestone is like he did many things in his life. One thing
Gone
is
but
the
never-
golden fill.
but
Yeah.
gamifying work, even for people with desk jobs, just like sitting there and like
Yes.
figuring out metrics for yourself to hit, it kind of gives you something to look forward to. So, can you think of anything in the immediate term that we could roll out to our staff to gamify things?
Yes,
Make it
I
fun?
actually can. Sam Thomas and I, one day, I don't know who insinuated it. I'll just give it to Sam. Sam, you came up with this one. But he was like, Lillabea, what if we had a competition to see how many tables we could bus today? And I won because I would take the trays and be like, can I get that for you? And get an entire
they're like,
table.
I'm not done. You're like, thank you.
Yeah. No, that was kind of frustrating. I remember the feeling. I was like, dang it.
Just
Of
take the
course,
last
no,
sip.
that's fine. Would you like a water? And then if you gave them waters, it'd be another thing to bus, which was really fun. But
2 buses for one table.
yeah, no, really. So, but it was just so playful. And I actually thought about telling our new hires, like, what if I did it? And the stakes were the other person got, like, I think it was the entire gift card. Their gift card for the month.
Oh, dang. Wait, explain that. So we give our...
We give our employees, you give your employees $25 gift cards per month. So it's just like, a little, what's the word? Allowance?
Yeah, like
Stipend, food stipend.
to buy food and
yeah,
drinks
yeah.
and
And it's
stuff,
just so you only get free black coffee, but if you want to treat yourself to something a little more fun or some food, you forgot your lunch on a lunch break, whatever, you have $25.
So you won his gift card.
One is gift card.
Dang, that is ruthless.
Yeah, I think I didn't let him give it to me. I think I let him pay it from like one drink or something.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't remember taking it, but I don't know. Maybe I took a friend out or something to Valor. But that was really fun and playful, and we were crushing the dishes all day because it was a game.
Well, that's 2 things now that it touches on, like gamifying or putting an incentive or challenging something that's like a less enjoyable part of the job. 'Cause I don't know if you recall, but I remember getting a lot of like, I don't know if complaints is the best word, but like complaints about making matcha because it was kind of getting more popular and it was out of our rhythm because we're brewer, that position that makes it is used to just making espresso.
Yeah.
So to like stop what you're doing and make a matcha just started getting progressively more like annoying, you know?
Well, at the time, I don't think we had kegs, and we used to have to pull our decaf espresso on the peak. So
Yeah.
we didn't have 2. There's a lot of factors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So to think like one of the more annoying parts of the job became like a game.
Yes.
So that we were excited to make a matcha.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. And then the same with dishes. It's like, what if we challenged ourselves to do this? I love that.
Yeah.
And one thing on the March Matcha Madness that I think is really underrated is the power of like collective imagination.
Yes.
Like you really need everyone on the team to get in on it.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm sure there were a shift here too where someone wasn't feeling it, but like the needle
I honestly
factor.
don't remember that.
That's even better
Everybody
here.
was super into
Like
it.
I really, no matter the rush, it was like matcha, and everyone's like matcha.
But
Yeah.
when you're thinking about putting together a team, it's like nothing is a sharper needle than like a real negative Nate or a Debbie Downer who's just
Yeah.
like, this is so, you're saying all the things, but in a very serious way. There's no incentive. Why are we doing this?
Yeah.
It's just a stupid game.
Yeah.
Can we just work?
Yeah.
And it's like, oh,
No way.
man.
Yeah.
So the fact that like you were able to rally a team and then everybody was so down for it is like, there's a lot of back end to make that happen, through hiring and making it all get together. But that's kind of that like trust your team and let them do something that you're not even thinking about. That's why it's so
Yes.
cool to be like, none of us are thinking about March Matcha Madness. It's because we're not working that shift where there was 40 matchas, but being like, yeah, just go for it.
Yeah.
See something and shoot your shot.
Yeah.
I love that.
That is awesome.
Dude.
True.
Sorry to be so profound.
Wait, slow down.
We're talking a lot about gamifying the seemingly like a little more boring things, aspects of the job. But I want to like work on bar with like one of you guys soon and just be like, all right, first person to make a guest cry tears of joy wins.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
Wow. That's happened for sure.
That's
and
heavy.
you just like start giving the most insane like hospitality
you
experience.
start giving away a bunch of stuff because
Hey.
you're.
Yeah, it's really.
I've got a 50
that's
in my
funny.
pocket.
You see that merch rack over there? It's all yours.
Whatever you want.
Just take it.
All yours.
Whatever size, take it.
Here's the keys to my car. Oh man.
That is cool.
Yeah, I also see. I mean, it was funny how you kept looking at Riley because I feel like between the two of you, you're such a good balance for each other. Actually,
Look
because
at us, yin and yang.
I mean, and you've learned how to do that over the years and like how to get the best results with that balance. But like in a meeting that we had recently, you were always pushing in this like organic, let things happen, like people, being creative, being organic and raw and making moments side of things. And you value that, but you come with this like, yes, I like that and that it needs to happen, but like our brand visually needs to be excellent. And
Totally.
we are, maybe not everybody in the cafe is going to love it if everyone's yelling all the time. Like I think it's a fair assumption. And it's like, I know you both value that, both sides of that for each other, but it's that balance. I feel like that is a key theme of this podcast. Like every week is we're always talking about in leadership, in, taking a team where you want them to go, having dualities and balances between two sides. And that is just the power of having multiple leaders, is we all have different eyes for different aspects of excellence and hospitality, because those are the two things we're about. And for each person to let their personality shine, because I see those two emphases played out in your personalities, and because we're friends and I know you personally, and it's just so cool to see you guys bring that to work and that shine naturally, but also learn how to work together because you guys are so different. And your weakness can be his superpower, and your weakness can be her superpower, and we are better together. And that. I never want, as far as we push in this is just becoming a meeting at this point, but as far as we push in the realm of visual excellence and, the wall not being a whiteboard anymore, and because
I think I was the only person that was sad about that.
yeah
I was like the games that we used to play.
right, it's like so you get all these cool moments, right, where like the whole wall is a tally mark and it doesn't look good, but people are like, what is that? And you have a cool moment and there's matcha madness and this beautiful thing comes out of it. But it's like that's one side, and the other side is like we have to think like big picture, and like what if it doesn't get erased right and it just looks like a big smudge on the wall, which also would totally happen.
It did happen. I remember.
But how do we have that excellence side of things and also have these people that are just switched on to do crazy things like this in that realm? I think that's always like a balance we're trying to strike.
Totally.
Yeah, it says a lot about someone who can see beauty in ugly FRP.
You know what? Thank you.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I respect that.
Well, one day someone was like, here's an expo marker. That's FRP on the wall. Let's see if it works. And then it like kind of erases, and they're like, all right, it's good enough. Let's do it.
Hey.
But yeah, I think, we were talking the other week, and I was inspired by Unreasonable Hospitality, which we'll be wrapping up next week, on the topic of, blowing guests' minds with these, what they call legends. And a part of that chapter was creating toolkits to replicate that, like those insane interactions. So if a guest comes in with a suitcase, they're going to the airport, and you give them an airplane goodie bag to have, and they just have those goodie bags ready. That is, on our side, that might seem or it might even lead you to say like, oh, that's inauthentic because you replicate it. But like, they don't know that. And it feels just as special because they're like, oh, they saw me with my suitcase and like they know my situation. But the balance of that chapter is that they would still do the things like moving someone's car because the meter, like they had to because it was 2 hour parking.
Yep.
Or like running down to their apartment and having to take the subway so they can take the champagne out of their freezer so it doesn't explode.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think those two sides can argue, but the end result is like, how do you uplift and go above and beyond for just more people? Mm-hmm. And it's a balance of the creative one-offs that are in the moment, and then it's like, how can we like prepare ourselves to go above and beyond and uplift as many people as possible through first-timer stickers and these goodie bags and all these other small things. And that doesn't mean you punt on like, oh, now I don't have to care, or now I don't have to have eyes up. But it's like, we still need to be looking for ways to like meet people where they are. And that was something I was thinking about in your time at Valor. You've seen so many different people come and go as far as guests. Mm-hmm. And we were talking about this narrative yesterday around like, sometimes when we're talking about like good service, it's just like give people what they want, right? And if like there's a business guy, just like say, hey, have a good day, here's your coffee, and get going. But I've seen how you've kind of pushed that narrative a little bit, specifically for like people that have kept coming back, and you've kind of like drawn more out of them.
Oh, yeah.
Is anybody coming to mind on that front?
Like 3 immediately. Yeah. But I think it started with, I think to you guys' point about like these tool boxes of success, we have that to a degree, but in my eyes, being on pit crew for so long and just being behind bar, like, 30 to 40 hours a week, I wasn't thinking like we have an immediate response ready to rumble for this exact situation outside of like birthday stickers and first timer stickers. Mm-hmm. Outside of that, it was just like people were setting the tone, I guess. Like someone would do something and then not out of competition, but you'd playfully want to one-up them. And then you playfully want to one-up that. And then you'd build and you're a team. So like everyone is out doing each other and like crazy thoughts. And like if someone is dancing a little bit, the next person's doing the worm. If someone's doing the worm, then the next person's standing on the counter and like screaming, doing the worm again, yes. Or like plank competition with a customer, or like squat competition. There was a weird season where the boys really wanted to like out squat random customers. They were doing it with like weighted vests. Do you remember that?
I was there for that.
There's a lot of content on that too. But I think about there's things like it was really Ariel and Mikey, in my mind at least, who were like birthdays matter. Our staff birthdays matter. Mm. So they would celebrate on like the whiteboard wall and draw something crazy and have like, someone's favorite snack. But then it turned into like that and handwritten letters and a personal, like someone baked a cake all last night and refrigerated it in the back so no one could see it. And then it was a surprise when they walked it out. And you sing in front of the entire cafe so the cafe feels a part of it. And then you get to Halloween and you're like, it's not just Halloween. We're all dressing up. And we're not just all dressing up. We're doing anti-Valor and we're going emo and only playing screamo music. And then a customer comes in and they see that we have all black nails. So they start painting their nails black and start howling. I'm not kidding. This is not howling like a wolf at the ceiling. And we would normally be like, that is a fascinating reaction to our coffee shop. But of course, we're like, we will embrace everything that comes out of the mayhem that we are embracing too. Like we put on black eyeliner and black lipstick, not because we want to necessarily, but because like it's a team mentality. Everyone's like, we're doing it. Mm-hmm. But then there's smaller scale things with like I'd love just like challenge accepted. And kind of to answer your question, Ethan, like it's like your middle-aged man who's there for a 16-ounce black drip, and he is not giving you much. He's not like, my name is blah, 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 and I love life, and what's your name? How are you? Or there's no instant compliment either, like, I love your shirt so much, or like, wow, you went to Comeback. What vinyl do you have today? There's not a lot of like instant conversations that are like on a silver platter for you.
What are your meeting lineups
Yeah,
for today, sir?
Really. And you go out of your way and you ask them how their morning's been or what they're excited for that day. And they literally say the words nothing or like, okay. So then you're like, challenge accepted, you know? And instead of being like, rude, I can't believe this person didn't look me in the eyes and talk to me on their cell phone, like they're on the phone with their personal assistant and shouting like 16-ounce drip and literally waiting for their card. And I'm like, okay, of course, yes. Do you want any cream at that? No. And then you go like, what's your name? And you try so hard to make eye contact, but then instead of just knowing their name, you give them an unwarranted nickname. Like their name is blank, they're all of a sudden J-Dog, you know what I mean? Or JJ, or just fill in the blank with anything. It's just, I feel like there are so many of us that were like, you will not go unnoticed. And while I work here, there's no offense taken. Like it takes a lot for me to be offended when someone's just like rude to me because they don't expect much. They probably are used to a different, very fast paced, more like fast food environment when they're getting their coffee. But we, on the other hand, are challenging the status quo and like pushing, like with our hands, we're like, we want more. Like, talk to me. Let me in on your anniversary. Let me in on your bad day. Let me in on when you crushed a meeting and you feel really proud. But you don't get that instantaneously. You get that because you are asking them questions that they are not willing to answer at first. I remember, seriously, talking to this one. It sounds ridiculous because it was ridiculous. I had just been thinking about bartering a lot, like how I wish that society operated on a trade system.
Bring it back.
Really, I would love for it to be brought back. But there was this guy who came in, and he was nice, and he wasn't giving us nothing. Like, he was definitely giving us a little. But he was just there to grab a coffee, and he wasn't the most talkative. So, but I just was like, literally, this is it. What do you think about barter society? And ever since then, we have a connection. And that's all it took was like, it started with the most ridiculous conversation. And I knew it was ridiculous. I wasn't actually deeply wondering what this person thought about bartering. And I knew we weren't going to start like trading our livestock or like anything
Finally,
like that.
someone who's interested in talking about bartering.
Yeah,
we found the guy.
Let's
close.
It was just my way to get in. And that's why I think questions really helped. So I remember we talked yesterday really early on. I was like just learning how to do search and get approved of like the POS system and stuff. And there was a girl with the name Claire. And the name, or was it Claire? Whatever her name was, I believe it was Claire. It means purity. So I said, wow, I love the name Claire. All the Claires I know are beautiful people. Did you know it means purity? And the girl was like, most Americans don't know what their names mean. But I had spent time in Africa, and the first question they ask if they're meeting Ross, they're like, do you know the meaning of your name? And usually you don't. So then they would say, can I give you an African name? My African name is Mbale.
Very nice.
All
Now
right.
everyone knows
now
that.
we know what to call you at work.
It means beautiful flower, and my name means lily flower. So I thought that was really cool. And every time I talked to different Africans, they would give me the same name.
Whoa.
That's crazy, right?
Must be accurate.
Must be something in the water or something. But anyways, I told that girl, Claire, I was like, you know, this way your name means. She didn't really seem interested. She was very much like what we call a squirrely. Like, she's a girly squirrely. She's young. She's on her phone. She's probably there to take a cute photo and meet a cute boy or her bestie or whatever. And woohoo, you know? I love iced lavender vanilla lattes, you know? And that's not a bad thing. But she was there, and I assumed that she probably wouldn't know her name. And then she answered, and I said, well, how do you feel like that the meaning of your name how does that resonate? Like, what implications has that had on your life? Has that shaped your life at all? Something like that. And I remember Ethan, he was training me, and he was like, what? Why did you just ask that girl that? And I was like, well, in my mind, I was just thinking, like, while I'm here, I'm talking to real human beings. So why not have real conversations that I would actually want to have? If I was sitting, I can't sit down and have coffee right now. But if no one else is in line, I can have the experience of sitting down with someone almost and having coffee with them and connecting with them and, like, not just asking them how they are, but finding, like, we used to ask, how did you used to answer the question, what did you want to be when you grow up? You know, and you started learning from the most random people who are not living out their childhood dreams anymore, what their childhood dream was. Like, people wanted to be astronauts. People wanted to be trash men or women. People wanted to be, like, business. Nobody really wanted to be a business owner, but they wanted to be an inventor, you know? And what did you want to invent? Like, a toaster that did your makeup for you while making your breakfast. That was a real invention that I made when I was a kid.
Oh, that was a real one.
Yeah,
Dang,
that was real. That wasn't random. But
Do you think that you would get scared when the toast came out?
yeah, there were many flaws.
Like, you'd be like,
Mascara, it's like in the eyeball. Yeah, there would have been a lot of recalls on that. Don't
Well, what
didn't go past the 4th grade, but
what I love about that is something that we talked about before on the program, but it's like Lillabea behind bar is the same Lillabea not behind bar. You know what I mean? And that's just how you are all the time. Off bar is you're asking great questions and being engaging and you're curious about people and you're caring about people. And then when you're on bar, you're just also that way. And I know that may seem like it's a given, but it's really not. And our people are awesome at that. But for whatever reason, it's just when we get into work mode, we just kind of shut off a little bit.
Yeah.
Or a lot of bit. And then our engaging questions that we usually ask turn into like, how are you? Or like, how's your day going? Busy? Oh yeah, good busy. Okay.
Yeah.
And there's power in that too. At least you're asking something. At least you're not just taking someone's order and taking their money. But I love how when you do that, when you are just Lillabea but on bar, which is the same Lillabea, you give other people the permission to just be themselves too.
that's cool.
I think that's just so powerful. And that's why people are able to connect with you in that way, even if they're completely unlike you, because they sense that authenticity.
I think Elijah was particularly fantastic at that as well. So many people are, and we're like Mikey and Ariel, we're making like actual friendships, very, very deep friendships. But Elijah, like, there was no one else that I know that was playing people's personal birthday parties. Like, he was doing piano for people's personal private events.
Started getting hired.
Everyone was Elijah's best friend. But it's funny, we talk about this a lot during hiring, like orientation, when you talk about like there are different people with different players on the team and they bring different things and you don't want to try to copy and paste anyone else. Like, I'm not Ethan, I'm Lillabea. I'm not Ross, I'm Lillabea. I'm not Riley, I'm Lillabea. Like, and that's how it should be. All of us should be exactly us, or else we don't get matcha madness. We don't get the Halloween, the anti-Valor Halloween, where someone feels comfortable enough to be asking us for the eyeliner and black lipstick and black nail polish and to be doing that and howling at the disco ball. Like, that's pretty crazy. But
They were howling at the disco ball.
Yes, that's
as if it was the moon.
As if it
Wow.
was the moon. It adds a lot. Yeah, are you seeing the mental image now? It was a beautiful, beautiful time. But I think Elijah was fantastic at knowing that he could be this, but he wasn't always going to be the one like wobbling behind bar, you know?
Yeah.
Like, but he was going to know someone's first, middle, and last name and like know their dog's name and know that their kid was really having a hard time in high school and know that like their marriage wasn't doing so well and then speak into it if he had permission. Like, I, of course, you know, try to do that and love to do that, but there's just so many like honorable mentions in that. Like, it's so far from just one person. It's like, there's not a lone wolf mentality with anything. And you can't have great hospitality with just one. That's what I mean. Like, maybe I took the order and I was playful and light and fun. And then they go to Elijah, who's serving them the drink, and they end up standing there for 30 minutes while he's pouring their cappuccino and the other lattes that are coming in, because he was someone that they wanted to stay and really talk to. Gavin's also like that. Like, Joey's going to know it's someone's birthday, grab the megaphone without question. I'm going to pause the music. We're going to like start the slow clap. We're going to start screaming and chanting someone's name and say like, sing the happy birthday song. Exactly. And I'm going to run and get the old like, sprinkles. And I've been, Amazon has amazing candles that are heart and star shaped. So we'll put that on there.
Affiliate link in bio.
Yes. And some of them fit in the straw. So even if they have to-go drinks, we found a way to put it in the straw. It's so fun.
There you go.
And we, then we get someone who like Kenny and Martha, long time, amazing customers. They come in all the time. Alpharetta was their home for like several decades. Mm-hmm. They're moving north to be closer to their family in their older age. But like Valor's a huge part of their life. And it took collective, someone was talking to them intentionally and knew that they're moving soon. Mm-hmm. Then some people showed up to their garage sale and bought things, personally bought their possessions. Now we have some of their things in our homes and cafe. But then I called it an unbirthday party, which is, I learned it at Lighthouse Family Retreat when I was like 16 in high school. But they do for children with childhood cancer, like all families, a dad might have missed his birthday, another kid that didn't have cancer, maybe the kid that was going through chemotherapy or something. Like they miss so many celebrations that get like lost. So a Christmas was lost, a Halloween was lost. So you come and you dress up for your birthday or for Halloween, whatever was lost, and we just celebrate whatever it was. It's like Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, like anything.
Happy Arbor Day.
Exactly. It's all of it. Like first day of school, anything that was missed, you celebrate it. And so I was like, Kenny and Martha, we're doing that for you. But I didn't realize that it was their last day, and it was in the middle of a rush. So we just decorated their box for their food, decorated the cap, the lids to their drinks, just plastic, it's all to go, and then gave them sprinkles and candles, and we sang happy birthday, and I was like, Merry Christmas, Happy Thanksgiving, Happy New Year. Like, you just throw it all in because you don't know when you're going to see them next. But it took so much building of like a narrative and knowing different that's the cool part, is like no one's fully accountable for one relationship. We all get different parts of it, and we get to be exactly what that person needs or wants. Like maybe they just want me to be happy and light with them, but they want to be really more deep and solemn with Gavin because he's a safe place for that. But you get an unbirthday party because everyone brought their different parts to the table, It's
beautiful.
Yeah.
The power of a team. That is awesome. Thank you so much for sharing your stories with us.
You're welcome.
We might have to do it again sometime.
Let's do it again. Round 3.
Yeah, we'll get you on a three-peat. How about that?
I do have so many more stories, guys.
Let's make some new
3
ones
plus
too, huh?
years. I mean,
I know. I wish we could go forever. It's we're in a funny situation since we moved the podcast out here, because when we run it, I bet you like Luke and Sam are just like
waiting
in the lobby
Ready to bust the door down.
We gotta make some bread.
But hey, that's how we like to do this,
Come
right? Thank you, Lillabea.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for making Valor a magical place.
And thank
Hey.
you for making Valor a magical place.
No, you.
And thank you for making Valor a magical place.
Yeah. If you've enjoyed Lillabea, then smash like and make sure to comment. We want more Lillabea.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Comment, we want more Lillabea.
And review on your podcast app of choice. And follow us on Instagram at CoffeeSometimesPod. And reshare one of our reels to your Instagram story.
And buy Hayride.
Yes.
Oh,
my
Hayride.
goodness.
I'm excited for Hayride.
Yeah. All right. We love y'all.
Love you.
Bye.